Covid-19 infections have broken major records in parts of Europe in recent weeks. Governments are now scrambling to bolster their defences against the new variant, against the fast-spreading Omicron variant, of course. And amid this health crisis, the World Health Organization has called for nations to redouble their efforts to help end the pandemic. Now, let's get started with some updates regarding this new variant. The WHO officials have alarmed that the Omicron variant appears to be better at evading antibodies generated by some Covid-19 vaccines. Officials further say that the Omicron variant is also spreading faster than the Delta variant and that it's causing infections in people who have already been vaccinated. Now, this means that the booster program that is being rolled out and also being touted as a way out of this pandemic, especially this new variant, in many countries ought to be targeted towards people with weaker immune systems.
There is now consistent evidence that Omicron is spreading significantly faster than the Delta variant. And it's more likely that people who have been vaccinated or have recovered from Covid-19 could be infected or reinfected.
As end-of-the-year festivities approach, the WHO director has now called for the world to pull together and make some difficult decisions. Officials have urged for New Year events to be cancelled. Dr. Tedros said that holiday festivities would lead to an increased number of cases, overwhelming healthcare systems, and even more deaths. The UN organization has also offered some hope to the world facing the new wave of infections. The WHO is setting 2022 as the target year to end the pandemic. Keeping this target in mind, the WHO officials pointed towards the development of second and third generation vaccines.
There can be no doubt that increased social mixing over the holiday period in many countries will lead to increased cases, overwhelmed health systems, and more deaths. But an event cancelled is better than a life cancelled. It's better to cancel now and celebrate later than to celebrate now and grieve later.
The new variant has fueled record case surges, forcing a return to harsher restrictions in certain countries. The EU chief has now warned that the Omicron variant could be dominant in Europe by mid-January. Experts have warned that the new variant could bring critical infrastructure to a breaking point. As the pandemic gathers pace, people are once again faced with new rounds of restrictions and cancellations of big events and gatherings. Germany, for one, has tightened restrictions, notably affecting the unvaccinated. German leaders are now considering an accelerated booster campaign. The Netherlands has, for one, imposed a Christmas lockdown. The country seems to have all but shut down. Moving on, Paris has already cancelled its New Year celebrations. The World Economic Forum is also postponing its annual Davos get-together in January. The European Union has meanwhile approved its fifth Covid-19 jab. Novavax from the US has now become the EU's fifth official jab for use across the European Union. The vaccine claims 90.4% efficacy against Covid-19, and Novavax uses a more conventional technology. The US biotech firm hopes now that this will reduce the vaccine hesitation among a lot of the people in different parts of Europe, and the EU has already signed a deal to buy up to 200 million doses of the two-shot vaccine. The shipping of these vaccines to the EU's 27 member states will begin in January. The other vaccines approved in the bloc are from Pfizer, Moderna, AstraZeneca and Johnson & Johnson. Now, for more updates about the surge of Omicron cases and what authorities are doing about it, Trent Murray has sent us this detailed report from Berlin. Have a look.
Well, Germany is just starting to get over a major resurgence of COVID-19, which was fueled by the Delta variant. There were signs that cases were starting to fall in quite a meaningful way. But of course, over the horizon is the Omicron variant, and it is coming, according to the German government. The health minister here says he's been speaking to his counterparts in the United Kingdom, and based on those conversations, a quote, massive fifth wave is on its way. And so he now is trying to do all he can to ensure that the healthcare system here will be able to withstand that wave. Part of those preparations includes a special emergency summit, which is being held today today here in Germany, Chancellor Olaf Scholz is gathering the 16 state regional leaders from across Germany to try and chart a course forward over the next few weeks. Already some plans are being leaked to several German newspapers, and they would suggest that there are more restrictions now on the way, specifically over New Year's Eve. Some suggestion that there may be a limit of only 10 people allowed to gather for private New Year's Eve parties, and all clubs, bars and discotheques will be told to close entirely. Just one measure the government is looking at amongst several in order to try and fight this Omicron variant as it inevitably spreads across Europe.
WION World is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news updates on the move.